Roasted to a golden crisp and dripping with juices, its size is massive, yet in China few have ever tasted it. Our impression of it is mostly stuck in Tom and Jerry. It looks tender and juicy, pull off a drumstick, and every bite is pure meat. This is the turkey, the unattainable dream of many people's childhoods. In reality, however, it's not only unattractive, but its taste is also hard to describe. Even so, Americans still consume tens of millions of turkeys every year. For Americans, eating turkey is like Chinese people eating 5-kernel mooncakes. Complain about it, yet they still have to buy it for the holidays. Meanwhile, in China, we consume 63 million tons of meat in 2024, but turkey only accounted for 16 tons. It doesn't even make up 0.2 of the market share. A nation that can turn animal offal into dozens of delicacies turns a blind eye to this massive hunk of white meat. Is turkey really that unpalatable? Hi everyone, this is Kanchai. Today we're putting the turkey center stage. This is a turkey massive in size, with a bright red head and neck, fleshy wattles on its chest, and a nasty temper. It looks like a mythical beast straight out of the Bible. Naturally, it holds a high status in the hearts of Westerners. In 1620, after European immigrants arrived in North America on the famous Mayflower, they shared a harvest feast with the local Native Americans. Turkeys were part of that offering. That day happened to be the fourth Thursday of November. To show their gratitude, these European settlers decided to drive out the indigenous people and designated this day as Thanksgiving every year. They ate the turkeys gifted by the natives to show their thanks. Of course, it wasn't just about preserving the sense of ritual. It was more about the turkey's practical value as food. Since they were a plentiful source of meat and grew quite large, roasting just one could feed a whole extended family. It was a very economical choice for a meat dish. Plus, unlike cows that provide milk or hens that lay eggs, turkeys offer no continuous byproduct value. They are strictly raised for their meat. Slaughtering one or two for a holiday wouldn't disrupt daily farm output. Thus, it gradually became the centerpiece of the North American Thanksgiving dinner. Alright, let's circle back to the question we started with. Just how bad does turkey taste for Chinese people to turn up their noses at it? You see, while turkey is high in protein, around 30, highly nutritious, its fat content is less than 2. That's lower than the 7 in chicken breast with fibers as coarse as loofah. It's never going to have a great mouthfeel. Besides, turkeys are so large they are hard to cook evenly. The skin might be burnt to a crisp while the meat inside is still raw. No matter how skilled a chef you are, it's hard to fix the dry, stringy texture and bland flavor of turkey. It easily overcooks and lacks that rich, fatty aroma. So forget about the Chinese. Even Americans have developed a sort of turkey PTSD. On Thanksgiving, when most American families serve the roast turkey, they have to drench it in gravy just to add some flavor and moisture. Otherwise, plain turkey meat is genuinely hard to swallow. And even if they take a bite for the sake of ritual, just to keep up appearances, they'll usually pair it with a side, like the stuffing, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce, or pumpkin pie, anything but the turkey itself. To put it simply for many Americans, Thanksgiving turkey is just like 5-kernel mooncakes to us. To preserve the festive spirit and the sense of reunion. As for what's actually on the plate, hardly matters. It's just a symbolic tradition. And don't assume that raising turkeys is a lucrative business. Even if we set aside the question of who would actually buy them in China, farming process alone is no easy feat. In China, a standard white-feathered broiler chick costs about 1 to 3 yuan, while a turkey poult costs 20. They take 6 months to reach market weight, so feed consumption is several times higher than that of chickens. Even if you sell each bird for 150 yuan, the profit still isn't better than raising white-feathered broilers, and that's without even considering if there's a market for them. Furthermore, because turkeys are so large, they require spacious grounds for farming. If the stocking density is too high, it not only stunts their growth, but also triggers pecking stress responses and even fatal stampedes. They might even go berserk and attack the farmers. Experts suggest that each turkey needs the space equivalent to 5 or 6 regular chickens. So who's going to foot the bill for expanding the coops? They eat too much, fight too often, and in the end don't sell for a premium. Such a high investment, high risk, and low return project for Chinese farmers. It's truly a sucker's game. But Americans aren't fools. Why do they insist on eating turkey? Simply put, they're trapped by a mix of historical poverty and the weight of ritual. In the 17th century, when the early settlers arrived, they were so hungry they'd gnaw on tree bark. The turkey, this giant North American pheasant, became their survival food. They had to choke it down no matter how bad it tasted. Survival was the priority. 200 years later, during the Civil War, to strengthen national identity, writer Sarah Josepha Hale campaigned through newspapers and magazines, calling for Thanksgiving to be a national holiday. Lincoln readily agreed and made it official. Ever since, turkey has become the American equivalent of the Chinese New Year's Eve feast. Skipping it was practically unpatriotic, but back in China, replicating that level of success is proving to be a challenge for the turkey. With high rearing costs and thin profit margins, even investors have thrown in the towel. In the internet era, any product without big marketing bucks behind it stands no chance of becoming a hit. But does the future really hold no hope? Not necessarily. It just needs one compelling selling point. Today's youth have even embraced kale, essentially an ornamental plant, and breadfruit, a Southeast Asian staple, has been hyped up to hundreds of yuan each. Who's to say turkey won't be the next viral trend? Maybe one day hot pot spots will launch spicy turkey rolls. Or a food blogger will invent a snack like hand-shredded turkey jerky. That could be the turkey's big comeback. After all, in a foodie's dictionary, there's no such thing as bad food, only bad cooking. Finally, the featured creator selection for November is underway. Please cast a vote for me, I'd truly appreciate it.